22 on page 458. And they say periodic. What's the difference between periodic and perpetual?
Periodic you do it one time each year, and perpetual is just throughout the...
Count it in the counting period, right? Whatever quarter, a month, quarter, year, okay? And perpetual, you contract, right? Then you still count, of course. But you're still keeping track of it. So how are the journal entries different? Let's do that real quick. What do the entries look like for periodic? And what do the entries look like for perpetual? We talked about this. Principles, of course, and we talked about it a bit in chapter 3. What do you do when you buy inventory? You buy $1,000 of inventory. What do you do on periodic?
For periodic, you have like all the purchases at the same time. It's not like recorded as you get them.
No, you record them as you buy it.
Well, you assume that they're all...
Because you're going to pay for it.
Yeah. You have it like recorded at the purchase date, but you assume that they're all there before you start selling.
That's right, yeah. So I don't record any cost of goods sold, that's true, until the end, right? And I compute the cost of goods sold. But what do I do when I buy? I buy inventory. Well, what do you do in the perpetual when you buy inventory? You debit what?
Debit inventory.
Inventory. Merchandise inventory or inventory, right?
Accounts payable you get.
Credit accounts payable. And then later when you pay it?
Debit payable, credit cash.
Debit accounts payable. Credit cash, might have a discount, right guys? Might not. Might have returns and allowances, might not. Assuming we didn't. Just be that 1,000, wouldn't it? Okay? So, what would you do under periodic with that? What do you think, guys? You don't remember this? Your debit account named purchases. That's where I thought you were going with that, purchases. Not inventory, purchases. What kind of an account is that? Well, it's sort of an expense account. It's going to get closed. It's at least temporary. It's going to get closed to cost of goods sold. In some companies, they do it that way, where some just go to income summary with it and take it to retained earnings. What's your cost of goods sold going to be? Beginning inventory plus purchases less ending inventory. That's the deal, right? Well, that's what it's going to be under perpetual, too. Beginning inventory, right? Plus purchases, right? Less ending inventory is cost of goods sold. You get the same either way, right? But you use different accounts to get there. And then, of course, when you pay it, you debit accounts payable. And credit cash. Okay, what would you do under the two systems, right? Perpetual or periodic? When you sell something, let's say that we sell, I don't know, $700 of that inventory, and we sell it for $900 on account. What do you do when you sell?
You have your account receivable and sales revenue.
I think your debit account's receivable here for the 900 sales price, right, guys? Or the sales revenue for the 900.
And then you do debit cost of goods sold for the cost.
You bet. This would be debit cost of goods sold for 700, and credit this inventory account for the 700, wouldn't it? Okay, what do you do if it's periodic?
Do the same for the sale, the receivable.
Debit accounts receivable for the 900. You credit sales revenue. Sales revenue. There we go, we call it. For 900. Yeah. What do you do about the cost of goods sold? Nothing. You don't record cost of goods sold. Remember this stuff, guys? Now look at it some more. Okay? Hope I give you something like this. This is the easy stuff. Right? What do you do when you collect cash? I usually debit cash when you get cash. If they're paying me off, the receivable, I credit accounts receivable. Everybody good? Would it be the same here? Yeah. So what's the only difference? Take a look at that. What are the differences then?
What do you do with cost of goods sold?
Yeah. Here you record cost of goods sold. Here you do not. And I call it purchases instead of inventory. That's it. Okay. But remember this. When I do my income statement, I'm going to do cost of goods sold section. It's going to have the beginning inventory plus the purchases. Less purchases, yes, less purchase returns and allowances plus freight in. I guess all that stuff. Okay, and you get available. Then we subtract the ending inventory. that gives me cost of goods sold. Which one is that? Is that perpetual or periodic? I just wrote it down. Trick question. What did I just write down? Both. Right? You get the same thing. What's the big advantage with perpetual? You know how much you have, or at least how much you think you have, right? All the time. But periodic, when do you know how much you have? When you can. That's it. Yeah, not as good, huh? Not as good at control. Right? The other thing is, you know how much is stolen with perpetual. You know how much disappears, right? Do you ever know with periodic? No, you assume everything that's not there got sold. Yeah, so you can't keep track of any theft or damaged goods or unless you happen to notice, of course, then you can report it, right? But you have to know that. Okay? Everybody good with that? So when we start this problem, then, what are we doing? Periodic, which means what? You're right. What do you do with the purchases? You assume you bought them all before you sold them. Okay? So let's give this a shot. They've got beginning inventory, 100 units, and then purchases. Let's see, December 31st by purchase date. At the end of 2014, they have 100, right? December 2nd. 50 from July 20th, and so we got 150, I guess, then, and that's in units. During the year, they had the purchases and sales as follows. Okay, they use periodic, determine the inventory under specific identification, FIFO, LIFO, and average. Okay. Huh? What does specific identification do? What do you think? How would you need inventory by specific identification? What does specific identification mean?
So like you tag every sale like as you go. It's like not FIFO or LIFO. You're just doing it specifically by the item.
By the item, yeah. But what do you think is more accurate?
That's the most.
FIFO, LIFO, average, or specific identification? Specific. What kind of companies might use specific identification?
Jewelry.
Jewelry, for instance. Automobiles, things that are extremely expensive. Airplanes. You know, where the inventory is all different.
It's not like a high sales volume.
All different costs, right? But what if the inventory is all the same stuff? Some bread, some milk,
Doesn't it?
cornflakes. Yeah, right. So you work all
It would have to be a low sales volume too, because
Yeah.
you can't keep track of like.
It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Yeah, but if you had well, if you're computerized and everything's scanned, you could still do it. But yeah, it's really cumbersome. So how are you going to tell? Can you guys tell which ones are sold? We know what we had at the end by purchase date, though. So which ones must they be? Why did they give us that information? Otherwise, you can't work the problem, right? So I've got 100 that I bought on December 2nd. How much do those cost? So for specific identification, what are you going to do, guys? There's 150 units at the end of 2014. 100 of them I bought for $30 on December 2nd, and I still have those. So for specific identification, it's 130, it's like that. And then when did they buy the other 50? Come on, guys.
July 2nd.
Okay. How much do they cost? Look at the purchase there. 25. So how much is that? Boy, they have a lot of inflation. Prices are bouncing all over the place. How much is that? 250. So what's the total inventory specific identification? What if I asked you what cost of goods sold was? Could you do it? They don't ask about the problem, do they? But what would cost of goods sold? How would you do it? You guys got any ideas? Well, tell me what's available. Well, we don't know what this beginning inventory costs, do we? So we can't do it. You can't do it. You'd have to know how much. Oh no, it's says the beginning inventory is base layer priced at $20. So if we assumed it was 20, that's the last part of the problem. So if they were 20 at the beginning, that'd be 2,000. And then you could add each one of the purchases, could be 324, 325, 228, 130. You could get what's available, right? Then what would cost of goods sold be?
That's
Beginning plus purchases less the ending inventory. Yeah, you subtract that 4,250. So if I have a different inventory value for each one of these methods, what's also going to be different? Cost of goods sold. But you start with plus what you buy is what's available, right? Subtract from the inventory, you got cost of goods sold. So if you change inventory, you're changing cost of goods sold. If you change cost of goods sold, what else did you change, obviously? Net income before tax, which will change tax, right, guys? And net income. Yeah. Okay.
Why are you using the 25 there instead of the 28 for September 4th?
December 2nd, they bought 100. They still have 100, it says up at the top there. 100 that they bought for 30, and then the other ones were bought July 20th.
So basically they sold all of the ones that were bought in September?
I guess so. Yeah. This is specific identification. They kept track of which ones they have, right? So, pretty simple to do that. How would you do FIFO? This is periodic FIFO, right? But you know what? If it was professional FIFO, it would give me what? Same thing. Yeah. You remember that too. Okay, so in FIFO, which ones do I have? First in, first out. Which ones would I still have? The last ones I bought. Everybody agree with that? Okay. So I bought some on December 2nd. There were 130, and my ending inventory is 150, right? So I've got 130 again. What else do I have? I need 50 more. Which ones? The next most recent purchase, right? Let's go back one. Which one? September 4th or 28th? So times $28. So this one's still 3,000, I bet.
And then 1,400.
1,400. Inventory would be 4,400. You guys good? Let's do LIFO. Last in, first out. I love periodic, so we can. Last in, first out. Which ones would I still have? The first ones I bought, or the beginning inventory?
beginning inventory.
Beginning inventory. Better pick up the beginning inventory, absolutely. Bought those before the first purchase, obviously. That's a pretty common mistake. So at December 31st, 2013, we had 100 that were $20, huh? So I've got 100 at $20 from the beginning inventory. 2,000. And then what? The first purchase, right? I need 50 more. How much did that first purchase cost? 24. So 1,200. Easy. It's not a bad problem so far. Okay. So 1,200 and 2,000 is 3,200. That's going to make quite a difference, isn't it? In the inventory value, therefore cost of goods sold, and therefore net income. Right? And then they want you to do an average. Is this going to be moving average or weighted average? It's going to be weighted average because we're moving with if we were using perpetual funds. So how are you going to do that one? What you got to do is figure out what? What's the total amount of units available, right? And what is the total dollars that I spent for the beginning inventory. So we start with the 2,000 beginning inventory, and then you add 324. Everyone just do it. Have you done it yet? So what's 300 times 24? We got 100. No, right. Kind of a pain. Beginning inventory is 100 units at $20. So 2,000. First purchase is what? 300 units? Purchase 1, 2. How many purchases were there? How many units? 300? The first purchase was it?
Yeah.
How many dollars per unit?
24. And it's 7,200.
Okay, we just keep doing this, right? Second one?
300 times 25 is 75.
7,500. See, it's worth looking at. Third one?
200, 28, and 5, 6.
And the last one?
130, and 3,000.
Then what do you do? Add them all up. What's the total? What's the total here? Sure include the beginning. What is it, 1,000? How many dollars? $27,000 or so? 25,000? 2 plus 7,200 plus 75 plus 5,600 plus 2,000. What do you got? 25,300. What did the average one cost? 1,000 into 25,300.
$25.36.
25,30. How many units do we have in ending inventory? 150 still, right, guys? What's 25,30 times 150? Right? How much is that?
3,795.
Okay, and that one is somewhere in between FIFO and LIFO with a shopper, right? Weighted average. Everybody good? Okay, could you do perpetual? Do we have enough information to do perpetual? Do that real quick. By the way, perpetual specific identification, what do you think? Same thing. Right? You sold everything else and you kept those. Okay, so perpetual, wouldn't that be fun? That'd be a cool problem, wouldn't it? I could put specific identification on it and have you do a perpetual and periodic vote. You'd be like, what the? I don't know how to do that. We never did that. Geez, it's got to be the same. And FIFO is the same, so all you have to do is LIFO and moving average, right? So go for it. Do LIFO and moving average. All right, that. That'd be a cool problem. I'd like to ask principal students to do FIFO, perpetual and periodic vote.
Watch you
Different answers. They give you different answers.
That's like,
That's hilarious. Actually, I always use a T account when I'm doing it, so you don't have to do it that way. You look at it and figure, which ones did you keep, which ones did you get rid of, and just sort of eyeball it going. You do it faster that way, but it's also prone to make mistakes. Still do the stuff.
And you said FIFO is the same, are you saying it's the same, like, as that right there?
Yeah, what you're doing is you're always selling the old stuff first. So what's left? The newest. Yeah, it's the same for the last one. So it's going to give you the same inventory, the same cost of goods sold. But the LIFO, it matters when you buy and when you sell, right? If you're doing perpetual, but if you're doing periodic, then you bought everything before you sold it. So it'll give different answers. And moving average, therefore, will give a different average for different costs too than weighted average. You can use all these multiplications we did here, right, guys? That, you know, to keep track of what we bought. We already did the multiplication, but I have to do them again, right? And you guys aren't doing anything. Scary. Use that information that I've got there. Okay. Set up a joint account, maybe. Two of them, maybe. Let's do perpetual LIFO inventory. This represents the inventory account, right, guys? Perpetual moving average inventory. Okay. Put in your beginning. Do each layer. Keep them in order. Any mistakes on all of them, right? Put them in sequence. 2 LIFO layers at the beginning, huh? 7,000. Then the next thing that happens is April 10th. Sale. It's 200 units. 200 units cost $24 last week for stuff. About 83. By the way, when you credit the inventory, what are you debiting?
Yeah, that's your cost of
Cost of sold. That's cost of sold, right? 48. Okay. Okay. So now I've got 2 layers left, 100 beginning plus 100 that I just purchased, right? I'll still add 100 first. So the next thing is another purchase. So I'm going to have 3 layers, right? So if you do this, you should say after that's done, this one's only 100. If you take little shortcuts if you want. And then September, August next one. April 10th. Oh, July 20th, I'm sorry. July 20th. Very good. That's 325. We got another layer. 7,500. This was all that was left was 2,400. I got 3 layers going there. Let's see. Then August 20th. Sold 300. So that'd be these same ones. So after we do that one, this one's gone. It's now 0, right? That layer's completely gone. Then the next date, I guess, is September 4th. 228. 5,600. So I now have 3 layers again. 2,000 from the beginning, 2,400 from the first purchase, 56,100 from the last purchase. And then on November 18th, is it? They sold 150. It's 150 that last one, isn't it? 150 times 28. It's 150 times 28. 4,200. Debit cost goods sold, credit inventory again, right? So then when that one's gone, becomes 1,400. Okay. So my layers are 2,000 from the beginning inventory, 2,400 from the March 15th, and 1,400 from the September 24th, right? Okay. And then December 2nd, I have another purchase, which is 100 units at 30. So I have another layer. It's crazy, isn't it? 3,000. Computers are wonderful things. And then on December 12th, I sell some of those. I sell 200, don't I? So that 200 is going to be what? 100 at 30. So we got that 3,000 disappears. So this layer's gone, right? Okay. And then I need another 100. It's going to be what? 50 at 28. How much was that? 3,000 plus 1,400. Okay. And I need 50 more, don't I? 50 from where, guys?
24.
Of these up here at $24. So what's going to be left is 50 of these at $24, which is 1,200. So I got 1,200 plus 2,000. Okay, and that 50 at $24 down here is going to be 1,200. So how much was that? 3,000, 1,400, and 1,200 was 5,600. That's debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. And what does that leave me in the inventory at the end? What do I have, guys? 2,000 plus 1,200, 100 units plus 50. Wonderful. So I've got 100 units at $20 of my ending inventory for 2,000. And I have 50 units at, what were they, $24? Which is 1,200. Total's 150, of course, like it always is. 3,200. You guys all get 3,200? Nothing to it, huh? Okay, and if you took your beginning inventory plus all your purchases, right, it's always going to be the same. If I'm doing cost of goods sold, won't it just be this? For any of these methods, beginning inventory is going to be how much? $2,000, right? Purchases is going to be how much? 25,3, 23,3. Available is how much in every case? I asked for something like that, celebrate. 25,300. And then you subtract whatever your ending inventory is under all the different methods, right? This ending inventory was how much? 3,200? And it's exactly the same as here. How can that happen? Is that usually going to happen? LIFO came out to be the same. They're both 3,200. Is that going to happen usually? No. Why did it happen? Because we happen to keep the very oldest ones, didn't we? That's why. If you kept some of the layers in between, that wouldn't happen. The question wasn't really for the Patrick. But so you still have to calculate it this way. Okay, so my cost of goods sold is the difference, whatever that is. 22, 1. Is that what that is? This is too easy, isn't it? Get your head around it. Okay. So have you done the other one? What's different? That's computed average every time you buy something, right? So here we go. Beginning inventory, 100 units at 20 bucks is 2,000. Is that right? Okay. Then what happens? First thing. First one's a purchase. 315 is how many units? 300?
Yeah, 300, 24.
Which we decided was 7,200. What do you do now?
Total,
I've got 400 at some price.
9,200, 400.
It's 9,200. What do you get, guys? What they cost on average? Let's divide it. 9,200 divided by 400. How much?
23.
23. Yeah, I guess that's right. 100 at 20 and then 300 at 24. That'd be 23, wouldn't it? That's why it came out exact. Yeah, okay. Then what? Next thing is a sale, right? 200 units, was it? At $23, because that's our average. What's that, 4,600? Guess what? That's gonna leave me with 200 at 23. Okay, then what happens? July 20th, there's a
Purchase of 325.
which gives me 7,500 there. Adam, I now have 500 units, right? At some average, gives me 11, 12, 1, is that what that is?
24.3.
2420?
20, yeah.
Ta-da. Then I sell some. By the way, what if you do another purchase now? It's another average. Every time you do a purchase, do another average, right? Unless you happen to buy it for the average. Probably a coincidence. So now this one is a 300 units, is that right? Next one.
Yeah.
At 2420. Stuff is cumbersome. How much is that?
7260.
500 less 300 is 200. Still going to be at 2420, of course, because come out at 2420 and they were average already 2420. 12.1 less 7260 is how much? 5.4.
4840.
Okay, then what happens next? Guess we bought some more. 200 is it? Okay, September 4th. Boring. At $28. So 5,600. I'm just copying the numbers. Where we did it before. Now what? You have 400. You just calculate an average. And that's 10. 440, is that what that is? How much is that? Yeah. That is 10,440.
Yep.
It is 400, isn't it?
26.1.
2610?
Yeah.
Okay, you made the math come out pretty good. I knew they did that or not. I don't care. How many do we sell? 150 the next one? Times 2610. How much is that?
3915.
3915. What do we have left? 250, is it? Is that right?
Yep.
Or, yeah. 250 at 2610 still, huh?
6525.
10,440 less 3915. Or if you multiply them together, it's how much? 525. Okay, then what happens? December 2nd, they bought how many? 100 more, is that right? At $30 is 3,000. I'm sure they give you something like this, and I give you something like this in your test, final, whatever, quiz. Yeah, and then I'll allow me. Have a twist to it. This is too straightforward. There you go.
If I like was the CPA.
Some way make it different. Okay.
2721.
It's what?
2721.
2721. Then what happens? 200 come out. Remember when you used to think stuff like this was hard? That's probably what you did before review.
5442.85. 86.
86? I hereby decree 3. Okay, we wouldn't do that in real life, of course. What do we have left? 150 at 2721. Ta-da! Is how much?
40815.5.
4082.
One.
Something like that. Ta-da! Is that going to give me different cost of goods sold than 3,200? I guess so. Right? So each one of them would be different, basically. You expect it to be. Okay, let's do the dollar value LIFO. What do you do with that one? Just a penny. What do you do with dollar value LIFO? How would it work? I've got a beginning layer of how many, guys? The old layer is what? Dollar value LIFO. say it's from the base year, which I assume is last year. Okay, so $20. So base is 2013, I guess. What do I have? Year in dollars. How much is my inventory? 1,000 units at $20. Everybody agree? $20,000 inventory. It was 100 units. I'm sorry. $2,000. Okay. What do you do now?
Your price, right?
Yeah, they're going to do it. Well, for this one, year-end dollars is that amount, and you're going to divide it by the index, right? But the index at that time is what? 1. So divide it by 1.0, right? Index is 1. So in base dollars, what is it? Obviously, it's still 2,000, so we're fine. And then you want it, so it's 2,000, right? It's just 2,000. So that inventory is still there. And this is LIFO, so do we think we sold any of that? Seeing it says 150 at the end? Nope. So what do we need to do? Need to add a new layer, don't we? How are you going to get that? What would you use? Doesn't make it hard. It says determine any inventory using dollar value LIFO. Assume that the December 2nd, 2014 purchase cost is the current cost of the inventory. So the price I would have to pay now is how much? 30. So what's my 2014 inventory going to be? It's 150 units at what in year-end dollars? Oh, come on, guys. $30. Said the December 2nd one is what I'd have to pay. So I just remember what you're doing with dollar value LIFO is you're taking the current cost times the units you have. That's how you get year-end inventory, right? Year-end cost of the inventory. That's not what we're going to put in our general ledger, right? That's not what we're going to put on our financial statements. But we think this inventory, if we bought it now, would cost us $4,500. But what do I need to do with that? Bring it down to base year. How do you do that? Divided by what?
1.05.
The index. 1.05. Where'd you get 5?
1.05 is there.
Does it say that?
Yeah, it says price index 1.05, December 31st, 14.
That's the next problem.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I was looking at it.
I was going to say, I don't see anything like that at all. Okay. I think it's far more than 5%. Well, come on, you guys. What happened? What does it cost now to buy what
2.2. Yeah. You divide 4,500 by 2.25.
Well, yeah, but this is 150 units and that's 100. Not a bad instinct, but you're not apples and apples. Those aren't the two numbers we're going to compare. Mind you guys, I'm not going to compare the 2,000 to 4,500. Come on. I bought them for $20 each last year. I buy them for 30 now.
30 over 20.
What's my inflation been?
$10.
Yeah. $10 based on 20. What is that? You just divide the 20 into the 30? You get 1.5?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 30 over.
Yeah, it went up by 10, it went up 50%.
Yeah.
It's 100 plus 50%. Right? And it cost me $30 to buy something that cost me 20 before. That's a $10 increase. That's 50% over the 20. How do you get your indexes, you guys? Current price divided by base price. How do you think they do inflation rates, guys? You know, consumer price index. What it costs now compared to what it cost before. Right? Guys, geez, scary thing. Okay, so 1.5. Oh, what's 4,500 divided by 1.5?
3,000.
It's 3,000, but that's in base dollars. I bet I have a new layer. So I've got this base inventory, of course, that you're gonna leave it, you know, take it times 1, fine, okay? You got 2,000 from the base year, from 2013. That's gonna be in my ending inventory. But then what else am I gonna have? Another layer. How big is the layer? $1,000. Okay, so in base dollars, it's an increase, a new increment of $1,000. So I got a $1,000 increase, right, from 2013 to 2014. So this is going to be my 2014 inventory, but I didn't buy it in 2013, right? When did I buy it? Yeah, so how much do I need to inflate it by? 1.5. Take it times, so we divide it by the index, now we take it times the index, how much is that? 1,500. What's my total inventory? 2,000 plus 1,500, what is it? 3,500. Got it? It's not bad, is it? Everybody's tired of including me. Okay. That's funny. You see it, you guys? Just because they didn't tell you what the index is, you couldn't do it. You have to get your own, right? So this was kind of a clever little problem at the end, because they didn't tell you what your base, they gave you that, they didn't even give you this, you had to compute that one, right? And then, you know the units, and they told you this is the ending, so you had to compute that one. And then you had to take this and compare it to that, compute this, right? And now it's just a normal calculation after that. So if we don't just lay it out for you, it all goes away, really? That's not good.
This Friday.
It's Friday, we're tired.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
What time is the review for the quiz on Monday?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Always with you people.
The time when you can't go anymore. The time when I can't go.
It's 3 to 5. No.
Well, I can get it at 4:30.
It's 2 to 3. No,
Oh,
that's the
just
wrong one.
kidding.
It's 1 to 3. Is that better?
Well, no, that's worse.
That's worse.
Yeah.
Who can be here from 1 to 3? The same 2 people. The only ones who ever count. And then the rest of you just watch. Well, when could we do it though? Tuesdays and Thursdays, I guess.
4:30.
No, you work on those days.
Wait till we get out.
Mondays
At 6 o'clock at night.
No, we're
Yeah.
going at 4. Yeah, I get out at 4:15 out of my class.
Yeah, that's 4 or 5.
Come in and we'll stay a little later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, put down.
And we'll still start. And we'll record it, so you can see part of it. Like we do every time. All right. As long as somebody's here, I don't want to just talk for it by myself.
Well, I mean,
Hey, Keith, is taking 213 over the summer a good idea?
Yes. Take nothing else with it.
I'm sorry.
they said 40 hours a week if you do that.
The problem is, it's really better to have 12 first.
Yeah, that's the deal.
But if you don't get your, you know, trying to get done in your time limitation, we have people do that.
That's what I'm going for.
It's all right.
So you think I'll be fine doing 313 and then turning at the same time?
Yeah.
But it makes you, yes, but remember 313 is a lot of work. It's 10 weeks, as much work as this class is, at least.
4,000.
But it's only one class.
It's your only class.
One class versus six.
You're doing class 3 days a week or 2 days a week, 2 days
6
a
to 8
week.
or Tuesday, Thursday.
God, that's all.
Yeah, I know.
So just remember, every other night and weekends, you're going to be practicing.
Why would you
You need at least 3 hours for every hour class.
Just like every class. Or so they say.
Well, or,
Unless
yeah,
it's
but
any
you,
class but this one.
but you really need it, yeah. You really need it. And this class would probably be smaller there.
So it's
It'll
3:30.
make 212 easier for you if you do 313
Yeah.
first.
So wait, you can do
Anything
financial
else,
accounting
that's
3
better than
before you
more.
take financial accounting 2?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can.
After you take this class,
But
you
I
can take
wouldn't
any
do
of
it, I wouldn't do it unless you're in a hurry to get done for something.
Because I'm
Like,
around.
you get out job in 4 years.
Yeah, my boss says I need a degree by
And
next
I
week
think,
to get a
Well, when
raise.
you get an F and you have to retake it, you know, that won't save you any time. Tell you that.
I realize that there's actually more classes. Right, Alex is having that problem right now. Yes, so.
Well, no,
Are you
that's
printed
principal.
out?
That's principal.
I think if I added a reading class, I would give 100.
Wow.
That'd be 2 times the
Right.
savings.
Well done.
I don't know, it always looks like it's so easy in there. No, I wouldn't.
That was easily the high.
That makes me find it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to silence
Listen, I am going to learn Spanish. I am going to be professional.
it.
So you want the quiz in Spanish, you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't be sorry. Bye.
They, oh man,